Hello, I'm Susan Graham of Senior Edge Legal, and I want to talk to you today about driving. This is America, and we all drive, or almost all of us drive, and that gives us great independence. It allows us to come and go whenever we want. But often it becomes inappropriate for people to drive as they age. My father in law, when he was driving back home from an errand, got lost and he barely made it home. And I was so grateful because the next day he gave up his car. But most people aren't willing to do that. So, how do you know when it's time for you to give up driving? Of course, you can just say, hey, I'm not driving anymore, and that would be great if that's your choice. But sometimes people still think they can drive, and if they listen to the ones around them, they're starting to get nervous. And they say things. I had another friend who refused to stop driving because he taught driver's ed to high school kids and he'd never had an accident, he'd never had a ticket in his life, and he was not going to give up his driver's license in his mid-80s. And I got to the point where I would not get into a car with him because he would slam on the gas and then go as fast as he could for blocks and then hit the brakes when the light turned red. And that was the last time I rode with him. I did suggest he was a single man, that he have his doctor decide if that was maybe a good idea to think about stopping driving. And that made him very mad, but I went to the doctor appointment with him. He was a bachelor with no children, and I encouraged the doctor to make an evaluation. The doctor asked a few questions and had him do a few physical things and recommended that he actually take a test. So this was a prescription, and the test was a driver's test, a written test, and then a physical driving test. The friend passed the written test, and he called me with great glee and said, I passed. And he said, but I've got to take this other side. And I just was praying that he would not pass the second side, which he did not. He called me up very disappointed and said that was all wrong. They gave him a strange vehicle to drive, and he wanted to take it again. And I encouraged him to do that, which he never did. So I'm suggesting to you, we have a form in the documents we provide for our clients, and even if you don't have a form like that, you can do this yourself. Write down, when would it be appropriate for you to listen to particular people telling you it's time to stop to drive, and give them permission to take your keys or to take your car or whatever seems appropriate to have a test. You don't want to make it a burden for people around you to try to help you. I have one client who refused to stop driving. His wife told him he didn't see well, and he just ignored that whole thing. He thought she was just being crabby and difficult. She also said he didn't hear very well. He ran a stop sign, hit a car broadside, injured severely 3 people. The medical bills for those 3 people exceeded $1 million. He did not have enough insurance to pay for that. He ended up in bankruptcy in his 80s. So that's a tragedy that didn't need to happen. So I encourage you to look at that ahead of time before it's a problem and come up with some standards to make it easy for someone to help you out or for you to decide when to stop driving. Thank you.